Okay, so today I'm going to be doing episode 2 in my little ChessUp mini series where, again, it's like that Squareoff series I did where we're just playing over the board, but we can still play online. Even though I have some restrictions because again, based on my permadeath failure of my previous challenge, I can't play rated games on chess.com, so I just have to, although this does work with Lichess too, to be fair, but I can't really play on there either basically I failed all my challenges, so I can't really do much of anything. But I brought back the permadeath bot challenge where I play all the bots until I lose. And then if I lose to one, then then it's over. Then I can't play them anymore. So I could do that. And then I could just play sort of unrated games against people, either viewers or just random people. And then that's pretty much all I can do with it. You can't do variants. This is a pretty decent product, at least. Like, it's a little smaller than the Square Off board, whether you like that more or not. Um, that thing kind of advertises itself as the Squareoff Pro specifically. I'm talking about too. I know they make other ones, but yeah, this is a little smaller. This is also not rollable. It also doesn't have the magnets, which the Squareoff doesn't have either, but just like the Chestnut does and stuff. So this is like a mid-grade, decent quality product, like maybe 3 or 4 stars. Let's say like 3.5 out of 5 stars, whereas the Squareoff would be more like 3. But then again, this was 300 and that was like 200. So I like generally the look of it, the aesthetic. It works well, but the two things that could have made it closer to a 5-star and top tier would have been number one, if you could play variants on here, especially 960. And I don't know why they shouldn't be able to do that, really. Probably because you'd have to manually set up the board and change the board, but I would even take the time loss and accept that. Because like your opponent doesn't have to do that because it'll be automatic, but I could still live with that. That and even other chaturanga and stuff should be fine because it'll just sync up that, oh, the queen is the advisor now, or the bishop is the elephant, so like it would still work. And then if you could do variants, that would be good. And then if you could also do uh what was the other thing? There was something else I wish they would have done. Um you can play on the chess, you can play on chess.com, you can do kind of just normal chess, normal formats. What was it that I was craving kind of last time? I was saying, oh, I want to see if you can do variants, but also something else. Oh, like just if it had the magnets, right? So that for the same price point, like $320, whatever, and maybe a bit more when it came out, because I know it's been out for at least a little bit. That would be what makes it a 5-star product, right? If it had the magnets that automatically move your opponent's pieces, which is pretty hard to find for this price point, to be fair. And if it had the ability to play variants and basically just do everything that you can do on chess.com instead of limiting it somehow, or at least it seems to limit it. Maybe I'm missing something, but okay, so here we're going to start by setting up the board. And let me see here. A little bit of an uncomfortable setup from the perspective that um this camera and everything, like, I'm not really used to doing all this, but is at least much better quality, or at least it should be much better quality than the other one. I like the material on this thing too. Like the way you pack it up is you kind of put this thing over the board and then inside the box, like you put it on top of there. Well, I guess you could do the opposite, but it makes more sense this way. So yeah, it's a nice, cute little compact board. It's a great like gift item sort of thing where um oh, my thing's not even on actually too, and I was trying to charge it because I was thinking, oh, I could charge it while using it, but I really can't do that because it uses the same wire as my mic. And you might think, oh, my wire, I'm using a wireless mic, but I think it still needs to be plugged into base of it needs to be plugged into register with the computer or whatever, the wireless one. But oh yeah, one thing that I noticed on the VOD and the video from last time is that the black pieces look almost too black. And it seems like a weird complaint, but where they almost blended in and you couldn't see them super clearly. So I don't know, like this is typically the right angle that you want to do with it, but I'd rather do this when it's turned on so you can see the little lights and stuff. Yeah, I'll give this like again the square off. I would give like a maybe a 3 star. I would give this maybe a 3.5 star. Both decent products. Again, not really out of 5 total. Obviously, not anything mind blowing, but they do what they're meant to do. This one impressed me more probably out of the gate. Right when I first used the square off, I was kind of like, I wasn't blown away, but then again, it has the folding capability. It was only 200. It has, it's a bigger board, tournament sized board. It's got the bigger pieces, better, they have a better feel to them. It does a lot of the same functionality. In fact, the only thing really now that this has an advantage is the fact that, oh, you can play on chess.com or at least more easily and more comfortably. You can't do that on the Square Off anymore, not to any fault of its own, because chess.com tried to throttle them a little bit, like the way that, you know, we turn that on, we get to see the nice little pretty goofy lights. That should be something you can customize a little more, like with, you know. Now, one issue we have, I don't know how well you can even see that screen, to be honest, there. But that's one of the main features of this, right? And in particular, since I only played the bots, I guess I didn't get to see it. The biggest thing with that is what? So that it can show your opponent's rating, so that it can show maybe the moves, like the notation, and mainly so it can show the clock, right? Those are all things that the Square Off board doesn't do because it doesn't have an interface like that. You have to be looking at your phone app or whatever. So that convenience seems minor, but you can bring this. Oh, and the funny other feature that I guess I can test when I go to the Amazon rainforest or some shit is I'll bring this with me and I'll test that. Oh, it says it works anywhere. It has built-in Wi-Fi. Like it literally, you want me to test that theory? I'll get $1 million lawsuit. Oh, they said it would work anywhere. So one problem is like, oh, that screen is upside down now, and it won't change unless or until I play as black. Right, because it assumes I'm white. It's assuming my race. But no, it'll assume that I'm white and it'll put the screen there. So that's maybe one feature it should have. It should rotate automatically to that. Yeah, somehow the pawns were not looking very clear last time. The black pawns, the white, or I mean, even just the black pieces, it kind of looks like a blur a little bit, whereas the white was much more clear. And then I try to put the captures like in front a little bit. Let me see how that would look right now. Yeah, this is about the same position the last time. Maybe my camera angle isn't the best, like it's too low, or I mean, it's too high, and the board is too low in the sense that you're showing too much of the wall and other stuff. Like you could say, oh, I could zoom in, but then even that doesn't work because it'd have to be like farther away or something. I don't know. All this is kind of just on a whim. Hey, new chess, how's it going? All right, so let's get this set up here. It's fitting that I'm always on the black side too anyway, just because I am such a defensive kind of player that I don't really embody what it means to be white in the game of chess, at least. Just actually attacking and taking initiative and stuff like that. Because sometimes people say, oh, that only matters at the high level, like GMs try to play for the win when they are white, but it's still a relevant dynamic because it kind of dictates what you're going to be able to do. So, not saying black can't be aggressive, but it just is less likely. It's not going to happen as often. There's certain openings you're going to get into. Okay, let's try to do. Maybe I should have set this up before starting, but whatever. It's nice to have this little ASMR effect of doing this. Yeah, generally it's pretty decent. I mean, I never really vouch for these type of things. Like, I wouldn't say that anybody should even waste their money on it the way that I do on some of these things recently, especially with the unboxing craze I've had. But ultimately, it's at least okay. It's not terrible. I think the Squareoff one actually pissed me off the first couple times because it kept certain things kept malfunctioning with it. But this one at least works more immediately, comfortably. Now, how long before they make the ChessUp 3? Like, I never got a chance to use the first one, and I almost would have gotten that instead just to try it, but, or you know what, I guess I assumed it had the screen on that one too, but it didn't. As featured on Shark Tank. Yeah, we have to thank Lori Greiner for this. Apparently, I think she was one of the investors. She's the queen of chess now. She's the queen. She's real Queen's Gambit. Okay. There was buzz for a while that they were gonna do a season 2 of that, and then they just never did. I'm kind of glad they didn't because it was kind of annoying. Actually, I didn't like it that much. It was okay, but it's like it felt long even for the. Now, why does this feel so far away this time? I'm having to reach a little further. My position is always so messed up. This is the hardest part right here, the ordeal of just setting it up. But no, we would do it like, you know, you'd have to do like longer games to do this, like to really appreciate it. Yeah, how far does it see here anyway? So does that purple if you're doing like an illegal move effectively? Yeah, this isn't quite the same position as last time because I think I had maybe my camera a little bit higher up. Because I'm having to reach way too far this time. I'm going to end up damaging something by doing this every time, like packing it up and having to do that. Okay. So we'll set up the rest of the white. See, like just looking at it, maybe the black pieces here don't look the best. Now that's more of just a streamer consideration than a, you know, like for my purpose as a user of it, that's fine. I can see it just fine. But from the visual of on video, right, I don't know how clear the black pieces actually are. For some reason they're, I don't know, they sort of just blend in too much. Or you need maybe like better lighting. I need one of those ring lights for this thing. Yeah, like the whole fun of this is you should be able to use it to its fullest. Like I could be Hikaru playing on here and just, well, he'd be playing Bullet or some nonsense, but the point is you can kind of just have a full experience here with chess.com or whatever, even as they try to monopolize it away from other boards like that. Like I wonder if the Chess Nut is like that too, because they did that with chess with the Squareoff, for example. They are not letting you find matches as easily now, or they're trying to throttle it in some way. Like, oh, we're prioritizing chess.com direct users, which they'll count this, but they won't count that. Yeah, for some purposes, it may even be too small, is how it might feel. And the reason why is because it might feel too small because it's not like a tournament size board, and it's not really, I don't know, comparable to some of the other ones out there. Okay, so here's what we got to do. We have the bot challenge going on. That's one format I could do, right? So I can do the permanent bots, play each bot till I lose. And, you know, so I beat like the knight and the pawn last time. So let me see. And the bots on that first page aren't the bots of chess.com. Those are just, I thought its point is you're not supposed to have to do that every time. Like, it even tries to advertise that. Like, oh, you don't need the app. You can just play it directly on here. But then the first time I had to set it up there, now I have to do it again. Okay, that's like maybe one minor knock against it is that both of these sessions, the first one, you could say maybe for the initial setup is okay. But in both of these first two sessions, I've had to use the app, even though it brags about and tries to advertise the fact that, oh, you don't need an app. you can just play it right from the board, which is true once you first sign into the app. Like now I don't need it, but whatever. Maybe for the initial setup it's okay, but you shouldn't have to do that every single time. Right, like my account should be tied to that. So what was the other thing? I was gonna say just the fact that um so I had to do the app. I had to. Oh yeah, and I guess maybe I was wrong about something last time. I saw the app had like 10K next to it, right, on the App Store, and it's like, how could only 10K people have bought this or used this? That's impossible, right? It must have sold way more than that. But that must be the number of reviews for it. Right? There's probably 10K reviews and more downloads because it's impossible that only 10K, assuming they make you use the app to use it, right? Otherwise, people are just buying it and not even touching it. Like what I do with consoles. Typically, I get them and then they just sit there. Okay, hang on a second. Yeah, I can make a little sporadic, once in a while series out of using this thing. Similar to the Squareoff thing. It's too bad I can't really play normally, but okay, so we could do the bots. I kind of want to play online this time. But again, a 10-minute game is not going to be practical, right? I can't do that. With the move, I don't know why it makes that big of a difference. You wouldn't think it should, right? But what is this here? You have to like 15 plus 10 or 30. Let's make it count then. Okay, it's got to be unrated. Let's not make it count then, haha. But you know what I mean? Like, or wait, you have to do that first, I guess. 50. I don't like the increment shit, but I guess we can try it. Like, so it's not too long. So, oh, okay. I wasn't seeing that from before. Okay, so 15 plus 10. Now we should find a match just as easily as if, and it should be unrated. We should be able to find a match just as easily as if we were playing on the site, right? It shouldn't take this long because chess.com is so active. Maybe the difficulty is finding a match against like an unrated match. Maybe that's the issue. Or maybe nobody, that does seem already like an issue. It never takes that long. Chess.com is usually super fast. But maybe I'll indulge a 10-minute game even though I'll lose just because of the whatever. Like this should not take long. And if it does, then something's wrong. And it's not putting you in the same matchmaking. There's no way it would take this long. It's always instant and it's even, yeah, something's wrong. It's even like, again, maybe unrated is the issue. This is maybe the just punishment that I get for failing all my challenges. Yeah, I've never had to wait this long. It's not even like I'm that odd of a rating. I'm like 1200, assuming it even cares about that. Searching, what does it say? Or starting soon. Okay, so there are some buggy aspects with this. For example, even the bot thing didn't work at first. I had to like turn it off and on. Maybe once you sign in, you have to do that. Like, let me try again. But then it'll make me do that shit again, I bet. Wait, let me try 30-minute and then it doesn't really matter because it's not like I want to do that many games. Like if I have one good quality game, I'd be fine with that. So here we go, the troubleshooting issues. It shouldn't require anything special for this to work. So again, it's possible it could take this long sometimes to find a match, especially in the unrated. I think that might be the issue more so because maybe people don't play the unrated type of mode as much. But okay, let me turn it off and on. I can't find that. The fuck? How do I do it? Okay. Because I have that charger and it kind of gets in the way a little bit. All right, so the board's set up, everything's good. Now we tried the bots last time. They worked somewhat, but the first time I tried to do it, the pawn didn't work, so I had to play the knight first and then go back to the pawn. But this time we kind of want to try the online capability. So again, we'll start with I don't even mind 10-minute. I really don't mind it, but it's just I don't know if this is gonna work or not. All right, 10 minutes. So he's white or I'm white. So he's wait. Wait. Is he 2200? Am I reading that right? And his time's not going down. So what's happening? Why does he get the? Oh no, it did go down. Wait, so that's my favorite feature of this already compared to the is just being able to see the time and the rating, even though that seems like it should be obligatory. What is this? That chess exclamation mark game where it doesn't show you any feedback within the game itself. So this guy may be 2200 unless I'm reading that incorrectly, which could be one of the consequences of the unrated thing. The fact that okay, I wouldn't make that mistake normally. This thing is distracting me. How do I do this without it being in the way? Okay, so we give up a free pawn in a way that we never do, but it's okay. It's just a little bit distracting, honestly. If you like, it's hard enough for me to play a 10-minute game just normally at a moderate level, let alone with having to worry about this. So, is that what happened with the Squareoff thing? I wouldn't think it would be that big of a deal in terms of like broke the touch move rule. I instantly touch my bishop as I'm reaching for that, but no, it's like that actually doesn't seem like a very good move just to move the bishop back like that. I mean, it's being attacked, but it still seems committal. Like you did all that for what? Okay, and you can never tell when you play higher rated players. It's like, are they just messing around or are they actually trying? Right? If they lose or if they don't win super cleanly, they'll just say, "Oh, I was just messing around. I was just trying some other opening," and I wouldn't even know well enough to know if that's true or not. But you know, it's a situation where whatever. At least it shows the online works in some way. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. With the other board, it's like it wouldn't feel like why should this take that much longer than a normal game? Right, why should this be so much more any more difficult? But for some reason it was. It would take me way longer to do everything. Not that I'm very fast to begin with, but so what do we have here? I could go for my classic V-shaped structure. The pink flamingo that I always do so well. Very organic to my, style of play over the years. That's the thing with that. I'm not even saying it's really that good, but it's more that you have like a defined style of play and you're kind of understanding what you're trying to do. It's very good about not getting confused by stuff like that. Like, oh, if I touch the wrong piece, the Squareoff would go crazy, right? So if I touch the wrong piece and then kind of move a different one, it understands it better. It registers very well. So all of that immediately is good. There's some functionality issue with the matchmaking sometimes where like, oh, I try to play against the pawn bot and then I had to restart it before it worked, or even the just now, like, for some reason I had to restart it. I don't know why. Like, maybe after you sign into the app, then it makes you restart it. I'm down to 6 minutes. Nothing crazy is happening. I can always get these kind of safe, comfortable positions within the. And, you would think this should help you with calculation or visualization, but in reality, if you're really good at, I guess it does though. Like at a certain point, you would think, oh, GMs are doing it in their head anyway, so why does looking at the board even help them? Right, like, oh, they're calculating in their head and they're looking away from the board, so why does it matter? But obviously, they're not as good in blindfold as they are normally, so it does matter. So in some ways, that's kind of odd. Now, the one thing this guy has done that is impressive is that he has um he, like a good player, is not allowing any trades to occur. See, like, this makes my move so, like, basic, right? Like, I'm not trying to do anything crazy. There's something very beautiful about how I do things because you're not good enough. Not that you shouldn't try to calculate better and come up with things, but you're not good enough to do anything crazy, so you don't even try to do it. That's the point. Right? You don't even try, you just kind of go for what you have here. So you go with the knight, and then you go with the. I can have a double stack. One thing that could be a little problematic is the fact that, it's just the fact that I haven't traded anything is always to my detriment. Right? If I don't trade early, I get in trouble. And again, why would somebody not want to trade? That shows you right there he must be a good player because, right, what is the point? I would gladly take any trade. You could say it's just my preference, but or one thing is actually wrong on here too, because I thought I had my. Oh no, maybe not. My profile picture I thought was the Chaturanga helmet guy, or the whatever my little channel art, but it's not showing up on there on the screen here. Maybe they just don't have the functionality, or maybe it doesn't actually do that. I guess I could trade for that knight anytime, but maybe I could blame these trying to play over the board for costing me my account too on the chess because, oh, maybe that makes it more distracting or something. Like, I'm gonna do it just because of time's sake, but hopefully those pieces aren't in the way too much. So I mean, it's not much to think about. I guess you can capture with the knight. Like, see, that's a move that I even question. Like, I'm not saying it's a good move, but it just sometimes you have to make something happen. And then this is the classic anchor pawn for the V-shaped structure. And the reason why that works is because now you have one rook covering 4 pawns effectively. It might seem like a basic concept, but for me, it's a very innovative thing because nobody ever does this. Not in this exact way. Or I hate when people say that too, like, oh, well, everything has been discovered or everything is known, right? Like, it's not whether it's known or not, but it's like nobody really does this in this exact way. Right? So there is something to that. I don't understand fully what's happening, but that I just gave up. I just gave up for nothing. Like, fucking. See, whenever I try to do it, like, this is what I mean though. See, he may be 2,000, but that has nothing to do. I hate that kind of thing. Yeah, it's okay. It has nothing to do with anything because. Okay. Right, that's the kind of move you could just make against anybody, and he didn't do anything to force it. So now, whatever, dude. Whatever. So we should maybe play this until I lose and then play a bot. But no, this could be still a fun series to do in terms of just, even though I even sort of said I shouldn't be allowed to play on chess.com at all, but at least I can't play rated games and I have limits, and we're kind of doing it as a gimmick on here. I don't know what's happening. I could just try to trade, but again, just giving up a piece for no reason. I don't know if the view of this hurts my ability somehow, but I wouldn't want to use that as an excuse necessarily. Whereas it's not a bad spot, but it's just so annoying to have to do this. I mean, the one thing you can say, oh, it helps you in the sense that it's showing you the legal moves, like if you don't know how to play or whatever, but as if you really need it for that reason. Like, why is this better than just playing on a normal board or playing online? Right, where online can give you all the feedback too. In a sense, these things are just a gimmick. So we have the double stack. I have the knight that really just can't even go anywhere or do anything. What is this, dude? Yeah, it's something about the angle of it. Like this thing makes me play like somebody who's actually bad, like 1200 rated plays. But okay, that's why I need like a long ass format where I can just actually. I'm too concerned about the time and everything. It just doesn't work for me. Like he's 2000, I get it, but none of this was. There is like a getting psyched out factor, not even related to the board. Like forget about that. It's more just like with time or with better players or whatever. So it ends up being too much. Right, like these things are suited for longer formats. Like you could try to play bullet on here or something, but it's just not that valuable. But again, like even playing the bots is comfortable because you get to just do it in such a way that you can take your time, right? There's no time problem with that. This still feels a little bit too pressurized. Yeah, I haven't seen entirely like what happens if you try to make an illegal move. It'll just not let you, or would actually penalize you somehow. Very alpha strong knight position to be in. And you've trapped the rook to the extent that oh, that's more so my fault, but 37 seconds left. Yeah, that's too bad though. Like nothing he did really. That's why it's deceptive. Okay, he's 2000, but nothing he did really mattered in terms of the right. Just hang a piece. What did I do with the other piece too? I forgot. And again, it would come down to time. Otherwise, I just love that, right? Like these kind of games are deceptive, and I do that a lot, which is my problem. None of this has anything to do with him being good. He didn't do anything. He did nothing. Right? Like the game didn't even hardly get started in terms of. Here, I'll just make some action happen here. So black won on time. Okay. Now, should I play a bot or should I play another person? It's interesting that we played at 2000. I guess that's because it's unrated, so you don't really care. Like, unrated doesn't mean that it should match you against anybody. Like, I could play against Magnus or Hikaru or some shit. It just means I play somebody still matched around my skill level, but I don't gain or lose rating for it, right? Not that, oh, it's unrated. Like, we don't take rating into consideration at all. But no, that at least shows you a good value of the UI of it. You get the time, you get the rating, you get some, visual feedback. So imagine that screen is worth what this product is. Literally just putting a screen on there with basic UI, basic, utility is apparently the selling point and the big deal. Like, oh, you don't need an app, even though I still did need to sign into the app. You don't need to at least actively use the app. Like, so what you're telling me is I'll bring this to the Amazon rainforest and the built-in Wi-Fi on it will work, but my phone's service won't work. And I'll have to sign into my phone. So I'll be sitting on a raft like fucking Aguirre, the Wrath of God, trying to use this shit. And, oh, the Wi-Fi on here is going to work because apparently it works anywhere in the world, right? Built-in Wi-Fi. But, oh no, I have to sign into the app from my phone, and my phone's not going to have service because, oh, that's actually relying on cellular towers or this or that. Whereas this just apparently has some magical thing that they're so confident it's going to work anywhere. That would be the signing in the computer or in the phone is so shitty. You shouldn't have to do that every time. The problem is actually with the bot challenge, if I want to try to get revenge on Anna Kramling's ghost, the Halloween themed one, even as it's approaching again Halloween, I don't know actually if that exact version of her will still be on there. It probably won't be. If that was like a seasonal one, I feel, well, obviously, but right, like either that one would have to come back or it would have to be something similar that we get. I almost don't even want to do another one. I'm tired. But yeah, I mean, this is a nice little gimmick. Not too many technical issues. It worked okay. I should maybe play another bot, but I almost can't even do it. I don't want to lose, but yeah, we lost to it. It looked like a 2200, and he was, again, he didn't do anything that remotely, would reflect that. That was just me giving up pieces. I gave up the knight, and I gave up the other, maybe the bishop. Oh, man. So now if I was to turn it off and, oh, I'm not using it, then what happens? What happens is all I have to do is hit that little button switch, right? That's it. That was a little bit shorter of an episode. It's fine though. I kind of started later than I wanted to. And so make sure it's off, just conserve the battery. I haven't seen like really how long the battery is gonna last. It says like 6 hours, but I don't really believe that, especially based on the Squareoff thing, because that would say that it would last longer, but then it wouldn't actually last at all.